let's just go ahead and get started. 201, about to be 202. So as always, my name is Alex Velandia. I'm a senior marketing manager for TradePending, and today we got Gwen. Gwen, want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Gwen Gelsinon. I'm a senior product manager working with our product development team here at TradePending. Happy to be here today.
Great, glad to hear it. And as always, I just wanted to mention that this webinar is being recorded. We send this webinar out tomorrow in an email, so if you want to reference this to send to your friends, that's cool. But also we have a Q&A button. If you want to ask a couple questions, we'll answer them in the chat or directly on live, or if we don't get to them, I'll go ahead and email you afterwards directly. But before we begin, quick reminder, GA4 is coming. And what that means is Google Analytics is being sunset, and the next evolution of that is being set off. So TradePending requires your GID. And we have a couple of links over here on the slide deck for you just to show how you can get it. But the reason why it's so important is you are going to want that historical data. And the way you get that is by installing it and getting it going now. So if you haven't already done it, check it out, see if you can, and we'll help you through that process. But we've got a couple links there for you just to move forward. Today, we're going to be covering just quickly our product updates, the newest and the latest and greatest stuff. Then we got a spotlight dealership, which is super cool. And then we're going to talk a little bit about AI, a little discussion, and see where it is in automotive. So Gwen, payments, group inventory. Tell us a little bit about these new settings that are configurable.
Yeah, this is an exciting new update, particularly aimed at our group site dealership customers. So you can contact support to change the settings for these. So if anything I mention here makes you go, ooh, I want to see about doing that, you'll just need to get in touch with our support folks and they'll help you through it. Basically now the inventory feed will have three settings. The first, which we nicknamed own inventory, is what is selected by default. So in payments, multiple dealers can be grouped under a customer, and each dealer has its own inventory feed. If a user submits a Payment Explorer lead, then the vehicle matches in the certificate will be loaded only from the inventory feed of the dealer which generated the lead. I know that's complicated, but it's basically sort of the one-to-one relationship there. So an example would be if the lead was generated from dealer X, from the list and the attachment, then only its inventory feed vehicles will be loaded up. This is the current behavior. If that was too complicated to follow, it's basically what it does today. So if you like how it's working for you, then you can stop there. But we have these two other models that we've developed. The first, we nicknamed the BDC model. So it'll show vehicle matches from all the inventory feeds from a group stores. This will load vehicle matches from all the feeds under that group. So this means if the lead was generated from a dealer, the user in the Payment Explorer certificate will get results from that particular dealership, and basically all the dealers in the list above. So yeah, that's one option. And then the final option that we call the store model allows a dealer group to select a dealer, the inventory feed of which will be used as the source data for the Payment Explorer. So I come in and the dealer group can just select the inventory feed, which you want to be kind of like, this is our source data feed of record. And we can go through and set that up as well. So by changing this setting, the vehicles loaded in the Payment Explorer certificate will be from the corresponding inventory feed, essentially. And this setting is enabled only for dealers which are part of a group, since it doesn't really make sense for if you're not a group dealer. So right. I know it can be a little confusing, but as we said at the start, if you have specific questions and you're wondering if one of these new settings might work better for your group inventory site, then get in touch with our support folks and we can help you out.
And just as a reminder, support at tradepending.com listed there at the bottom of the slide, just to go ahead and reach out. But these are great updates, and it's just a way for us to make sure the dealership's getting what they need to make sure that their strategy is working for them. So exactly. Great work there. We've got one other here. Side-by-side columns. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, from the super technical, intricate conversation about inventory feed to something that's much more about just look and feel, kind of making things interact better on your website. So we have this new option that you can see illustrated here with the get pre-qualified and what's my buying power bits there underneath the value of your trade banner, where you can have these kind of side-by-side columns that will also be a little bit behave a little bit better in a mobile experience as well, stacking up, and just looks a little bit better. You'll be able to get like a much cleaner, more modern looking look and feel to your banners and how they're interacting with the rest of your website with this update. So if that looks like something you want your website to have, again, get in touch with our support folks. They can help you update any settings to make sure that everything looks the way you want it.
Well, I mean, first off, it looks great, and everybody knows screen real estate matters. So this is a great way of being very efficient about the whole deal. So
Exactly.
I mean, I think that looks fantastic, but I'm biased. So, so I wanted to talk a little bit about a spotlight. So this is a Kia dealership that was brought to my attention. First off, they're just killing it. They are a trade payments and badges customer, and I have the screen cap over there, and you can see that we've got the full CTA stack over there, and it looks great because we've color coded it to match not only their website, but I mean, if you look, all the trade variations on there are the same seafoam green. You got your buying power in the blue, and then you have the pre-qualification in black. So it's made to not only look great, but moving ahead, it performs really well too.
Dang.
Yeah, I know, right? This particular website gets about 15 to 18,000 monthly visitors. Now, in January, 500 over 500 unique payment leads coming from it, and 200 and over 220 trade leads. Now, you can see, because we're so transparent, you can see exactly when that when the CTA stack was changed perfectly. And by perfect, what we mean is their team talked with our team, they listened to some of our best practices, and it was like a consultation method. And you can see the results here. It took off. Another really cool thing that they did is at the end of the trade market report, after they got their vehicle range, the valuation range of their vehicle, right there they have a pre-qualification CTA as well as a buying power CTA. And what that does is really give you like a next step for the consumer. Well, I've got this range. What do I do with it? Well, here's a couple of options. Are you curious about what you can be pre-qualified for? Or are you sure you want to know what your buying power is? Here are the options. It's us trying to hold the consumer's hands all the way down the funnel, making your job as a consumer, one of our consumers, a little bit easier. So fantastic spotlight of that Kia dealership.
Yeah,
Now,
I love the leading people down the funnel is really smart. I love that.
yeah, happily holding hands and skipping all the way. So here we are, the meat and bones of is AI useful in car sales? So first, let's talk about how AI can be helpful to sell more cars. AI can be used to analyze customer data and provide insights into customer behavior, preferences, and purchasing patterns. By analyzing that data, dealerships can tailor their marketing and sales strategy to better meet the needs of their customers. For example, AI-powered chatbots can help dealers engage with potential customers and answer their questions in real time, even when your dealership is closed. By providing helpful and informative responses, chatbots can help build that trust with your customer and increase the likelihood of a sale. AI can also be used to predict which cars are most likely to sell based on the factors like location, again, customer demographics, and time of year. This can help dealerships make more informed decisions of inventory decisions and optimize their sales strategies to increase that revenue. Now, in addition to helping dealerships sell more cars, AI can also streamline their operation. For example, AI can be used to automate routine tasks such as inventory management and pricing analysis. By automating these tasks, dealerships can reduce the amount of time and resources required to manage their operations and free up the staff for more strategic thinking. Now, wait a second. Did that sound right to you? It sounded a little canned. And the reason why is because that whole section about AI was written by OpenAI's ChatGPT. That whole thing. I really just wrote, it's right there, write a script teaching car dealers how AI can be beneficial in sales. Okay.
What?
And I just read it word for word, verbatim.
That's wild.
That's the question. Is it useful, right? So let's see where it currently is in automotive. AI in F&I. It's there for document management, just to make sure humans are being as accurate as possible. Mistakes happen. This is just a way of mitigating those mistakes. It's using something called OCR, just basically reading the characters of each individual letter. Auto decisioning, this is a risk assessment. Behavioral models, hey, when is this particular customer most likely to answer the phone? And loan servicing, this is again another kind of like risk assessment of which borrowers or types of borrowers will be most likely to fail or not fail for that loan. Now, in fixed ops, they have part predicting. So this is kind of like having a sort of like leaner parts department and more of like just-in-time part for builds and stuff like that. AI does a great job, or is planning on doing a great job to analyze those supply and demand patterns. Crash appraisal. Now, this is really cool. So there are databases with hundreds of thousands of images of vehicles that have been wrecked. Now, if you happen to have the same vehicle that it has already a bunch of pictures of vehicles, and it knows, well, this is the type of crash it had, what parts needed to be replaced from it, then it can kind of ballpark for you what's going to be needed to repair this car that had a similar crash. So I thought, I thought that was super cool. Forecasting trends. This is, maintenance, seasonal trends. If there's a recall, it'll help you like look at parts and just get ahead of the wave of people coming in expecting those parts. And automotive marketing. This is what I know a little bit more about. So new customers. This is like trying to find somebody super high funnel, just kind of point them out and be like, hey, they're knocking some triggers that tell us that they're very serious about purchasing a vehicle, and it'll highlight them so you can pay special consideration to those particular customers. Again, you as an individual, as your dealership, you need to pick out these triggers or which ones are important to you. Tailored messaging, dynamic creative optimization, which basically means put pictures that people like in front of them. If they have a customer profile and say, hey, this person likes this certain vehicle, and you have an ad with that certain vehicle in it, well, it's going to go ahead and drive that to them. So it'll help them just convert at a higher rate.
Nice.
And then connecting in a personalized manner. This is that chatbot thing we were just talking about a little bit earlier. The one-on-one live chat, of course, AI is not live yet. We are also looking at them being able to change campaigns live so they can actually convert at a higher rate, see kind of what's happening and have maybe an A/B test, say, hey, this is working out better. Let's go ahead and blow that particular campaign. And then writing copy. Now, as you saw, it can write copy. I had it write for the webinar. Now, it wrote for the webinar, but it sounds pretty canned and not the best. So let's just go ahead and take a look. So I am here in ChatGPT. Can you still see this?
Yep.
Fantastic. So I asked it to write an email for a customer that has their lease coming to an end, convincing them to buy a new car and trade in their old vehicle. And it wrote this whole thing, this email, 7 paragraphs long, dry as dirt sounding. It's what it is a start.
Yeah, it's like, it's not the blank cursor blinking at you, mocking you when you're trying to come up with someplace to start from.
Right? Blank pages can be intimidating. Now, this is a good starting off point. But as with any tool, which is really what ChatGPT and all AI is, it's a tool. So you need to be trained in order to use it. So what that takes is a little bit of trial and error. So next I ask it, make it short and sweet. Same prompt, but let's make it short. So now we have 3 paragraphs, half as long, great, listened, but still kind of dry as dirt sounding. And, this might get you to a really good starting off point, but, it's not really convincing me as a consumer to really respond to this or call in or whatnot. But then, what might? Okay, same prompt again, but let's make it short and funny. Why not? We hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your lease is coming to an end, but don't worry, we've got you covered. That's AI's idea of humor. Fine, sure. Well, like I said, it's about trial and error. So you want to make sure you go in and you're trying multiple things and you're refining what you're asking the AI, and it'll refine what it gives back to you. But like everything, you just got to get in there, trial and error it. So going back, is it ready? Our opinion, not quite yet. I want to thank Matthew Davis for forwarding this to me. This is really funny. Everybody, you might remember the Clippy hit there. Yeah, exactly, from Word way back in the day. I don't know. Is Clippy still around? I'm not
I
sure.
don't know, yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. So I don't think it's quite there yet, but what it is a good starting point, especially for writing copy. I wanted to have a notable mention of Impel.io. They have two of these chatbots that we were talking about earlier, Service AI and Sales AI. And from what I've read, it's looking very good and very promising. So these guys are on the edge of what automotive AI can be. And when I say automotive AI, I'm not talking about consumer facing, I'm talking about dealership facing.
Gotcha.
I also wanted to mention a couple of AI contributors, Ben Hadley from Automotive Genius, or sorry, Auto Genius, and then Peter Kahn from CDK. Now, not being an AI expert myself, I did a lot of research. And so I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys that same research to make an informed decision for yourselves. We're here presenting the facts as we do day in and day out. So you guys can make a decision on your own whether this is something you want to go towards or not. But either way, here are some sources. And every one of those sections that I had, the fixed ops, F&I, and marketing, they all had sources at the bottom from articles that I looked in and thought would be helpful for you as well.
You think that'd be a good starting place if somebody just to kind of dig in a little deeper, just
Oh, 100%. You really want to, I mean, listen to the people that know where AI is in automotive right now, and then from there you can start to draw your own conclusions. So really quickly, I just want to mention, follow us on social, because not only are we talking about the latest and greatest in technology for automotive, but we have our best practices up there all the time. And this week alone, we have these fun little 3-minute videos talking about our best practices. And Matthew Davis is doing a great job explaining them for you. So follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, and these will be coming to you all the time. It's a great opportunity. But also, because we got useful tools, we also have our conference updates and swag. This is limited edition, but you can get another shirt. And speaking of swag, Wobbly Bird.
Mhm.
I've got mine.
I moved mine this way. He's in the back now.
There's the blurry background. But I don't know about you, Gwen, but when I'm working through a problem or practicing a webinar even, this is who I'm talking to. This is my audience right here.
Yeah.
Best constructive criticism. But you can go ahead and get your very own bit.ly/wobblybird. Now that's case sensitive, but go ahead, go there, and then you can claim your own Wobbly Bird. Gwen, did you have any other thing that you wanted to mention about AI? Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's one of those things where all of a sudden it seems to be everywhere now. I have a computer programmer friends who said they'll run queries through it and ask it for corrections and advice on how to get started writing a query for MongoDB or something like that, and it'll spit something out. Like you said, it's a starting place. It's when you're staring at a blank screen, it can help out with a whole bunch of different problems, and it's kind of fascinating to see where it'll be going.
Yeah, I too am very excited to see, especially in the automotive space, to see where it can, being in marketing, I'm always looking for the next greatest technology, and this is looking very promising for me and maybe TradePending in the future. Who knows? But once again, Gwen, I wanted to thank you for helping us out with the product updates today. Again, my name is Alex Velandia. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at TradePending. And Gwen, again, thank you. And for those of you that came in, thank you and have a great rest of your day.